G'day, it's James Greenshields again and welcome to PTSD TV. This message is for all you supporters out there, the real unsung heroes of the battle with post-traumatic stress. I've just been dealing with a number of situations where the supporter is telling me they're having conversations with their partner that are really disturbing them. The conversation will run along the lines of, we need to end our relationship, you don't deserve me, you deserve far better, I can't give you what I want. These type of comments are reflective of the sufferer having very low self-esteem. And that's not surprising at all, because low self-esteem or a cutting away, undermining of our self-confidence and self-esteem is one of the first things to go for a person suffering from post-traumatic stress. So for the supporter out there, I mean, it can be really heartbreaking for you to witness the person you really love turning to you and telling you these things. And so what do you do? Well, the big thing to understand is this conversation is not actually about you. And that's an interesting concept. It's not about you. It's about them and what's going on for them right now. And the way they are vocalizing this confusion within them is to say, well, you don't deserve me. And that's an expression of low self-esteem, as I've mentioned. So what can you do? Well, the big thing is to sit there and understand it is not about you, and let them speak, and then confirm to the person you love and support that you still love them. And if it is the case that you'll love them unconditionally, then tell them you always love them. Things that they do may upset you, however, you will always love them. That reassurance is very beneficial for a sufferer. The big thing to understand is that a sufferer is doing a number of things right then and there. They are a victim, however, a victim can very quickly turn to a victimizer, and they do it subconsciously. It's not fully aware of what they're doing, or the motives, the true motives underlying why they're doing it. They can quite often turn nasty at you, make belittling comments, get really aggressive. All these things are stemming from a very low self-esteem within the person. So they are acting in a way that they fear will get them what they need. And at that time, for you to walk away might simply cement in their own mind that they are not worthy, they don't deserve. And so the best thing to do is push you away, because at their subconscious level, I've talked about subconscious programming in other videos. At a subconscious programming level, they are acting in a way to make it happen that you will walk away. So at a conscious level, they're not understanding what they're doing. They're at a subconscious level, their behavior is acting to achieve what they believe they deserve, and that is for you to walk away. It's very, very hard for you to sit there and watch this. But I recommend that a really compassionate position to hold within that conversation, allowing the person to speak and realistically allowing it to wash over you, realising it's not about you, is the best way to go. And at a point in time of what you believe is the best, or a point in time of your own choosing where you believe it's the best to broach the subject, you might ask them whether or not they believe that the position they're in right now is good. And if they say no, which is probably fairly obvious, then, well, do you want to do something about it? And if they say yes, then that's when you can say, well, how can I best help you? How can I help you help yourself? And by then what you're doing is you are not trying to solve their problem. For you to solve their problem can quite often cause a flare-up, an argument. You've probably experienced that before. So how can I help you means that you are being seen to support that person. Now, they might respond that they don't know how to do it. So, I mean, what do you do then? Well, there's a number of things. Firstly, I use the example of what Kirsty, my wife, did for me. She found a person that she believed I would really develop an affinity with, I'd be able to trust, but also that she believed had the capability to help me, and she suggested that I see him. And I said no. And then a number of other things happened, a number of other situations, and she raised it again, and I agreed to help because I fell into a situation where I knew I needed help. So I admitted that I needed help. And I went and saw this bloke, and he'd changed my life. and I got help, and that's who trained me do what I do. So by suggesting to the person that there's another way, and offering them a possible solution, remembering, detach yourself from the outcome. When you offer a solution, don't necessarily expect they're going to pick it up, because they might not. They might try and throw it back in your face. Remember, that's about them. It's not about you. Now, if they throw it back in your face, it means that they're not ready right now. So if you keep getting these rejections, the question goes to you, what do you do now? And you have to decide within yourself how you're going to be within the relationship. And if you're going to have to continue to deal with these disruptive incidences, these angry outbursts, etc., whenever they occur, make sure you understand that it was really important to understand that it's not about you, and don't take on what the sufferer is pushing towards you. What they're trying to do is get something off their chest, but they don't actually know what they're getting off their chest in the first place. They're very confused. These conversations of with low self-esteem can be really, upsetting, especially when a person that you love tells you that you should disappear, you should go, because you deserve something far better. One of the best things that I can explain what's going on within a sufferer is use an analogy. Now, if you're a parent, you might have seen a child standing up on a wall or walking along a high surface, and you've looked at them and you've gone, oh no, if they fall, then they're going to hurt themselves. So you run a mental movie, a mind movie, and you take it to the extreme of them falling and hurting themselves. So what do? You get scared because that mind movie has prompted you to get scared, so you act by saying, hop down from there, you might hurt yourself. Well, with a sufferer from post-traumatic stress, those mind movies go to an absolute extreme. And that absolute extreme with low self-esteem means that you have run off and you don't want me anymore. It means that I don't deserve you anymore. It means that I can't deal with this. They are key indicators that the person really does need some help. Again, they will only seek help when they either the pain that they're currently in is greater than the pain that they perceive for change. Because change is a lot of reticence or non-acceptance of change is all about our perceived pain that we're going to experience in that change. So if a person believes that they're going to experience more pain for the change, then they're going to stay in the pain that they are. Understanding that the change will be better for them is a personal perception that they need to work through to get to the point where they actually want to recover. And that's key for them to actually own up and say, rightio, yeah, I'll put my hand up, I'm going to get help. The other thing is understanding that weakness or vulnerability is not weakness. And for a lot of male-dominated work environments, that's quite a hard pill to swallow. Put my hand up, being in the military, emergency services, those type of environments, vulnerability, yeah, that is weakness, and weakness is not something that you do. But the funny thing is, it's actually the opposite. For a person to truly stand in their vulnerability and be open takes true courage, because of what they may perceive will happen to them. Courage is all about being able to act despite fear. Now, the road to recovery is not all roses, and I put my hand up again and tell you that, because I regressed every now and then on my way forward. But the big thing is, I kept moving forward, kept taking one step at a time to build my self-esteem, self-confidence, and release the toxic emotions that were pent up in my system. I made one step at a time, continually moving forward. And that's a big thing, and that took a lot of courage within myself. And some of my proudest moments in my life are getting my life back on track and getting a relationship back on track. Because it took a lot of vulnerability and a lot of openness from me, and took a lot of internal strength. So you as a supporter can really assist them by just being your nurturing, nurturing self, but also being firm that there's a boundary here and it's not to be crossed. And that boundary not to be crossed is, this is something that you're suffering. The sufferer is suffering. I'm here to support you, but don't throw it on me and expect me to have to deal with it. That means that you will be able to protect yourself as well, and that's going to be really important, because if you don't protect yourself, then my guess is your relationship is going to be rocky, and that's what generally happens, that relationships get rocky and then relationships split because both people decide that they just can't do it anymore. I trust that's been worth it. and been valuable to you. And remember, you can choose to be happy.